sit with angels, a not so human experience. Mother is calling, awaken, symmetry awaits. Waves of synchronicity, this is real. We've agreed to meet here and now, 100,000 years ago. I smell your arrival, a space transformation transpires. I'm not sure I'm comfortable with this, it's okay, surrender. We drink, we wait in silence. A gentle tickle, I'm coming, surrender, sit firm with power. Oh, it's happening. Oh, a brain splits open and the pineal gland saturates the space like a sacrament of burning sage. This is heavy, sit firm with power. This is only a moment. Only a moment into the mystic behind the ice-like curtains. The ritual of magic proceeds. This is my symbols dance rhythmically to the beat of the drums. The lust of the creator exudes. Birth of Christ, the darkness ushers in the light. You've done this 1,000,000 times over, Dad. Santi, are you ready for your second cup? Hank, your second cup. Where the fuck are you broadcasting from? An alien ship, strange, oh my. I never would have guessed. I sit and observe, my will is as hard as a rock. I approve of you, I approve of all of you. You are good, our rascality is only a game we play on the human plane. Purge, purge for all of us. We have transcended the space-time continuum. Father, you are beautiful. You are so fucking beautiful. You are all so beautiful. I see you and I love you. Thank you, Mother. Gracias, Madre, por todos. I sit with angels. I sit with angels. I sit with angels. A not so human experience.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Light Radio. Hope you had a beautiful night's sleep and you're feeling excited and refreshed to these new possibilities to say yes to the grand dance of life. I'm excited to be here with you this morning. Stepping out of the dream world and into this walking dream. It's always an exciting time for me. Yes, and I'm really excited to get started today.
I'd like to say thank you for coming. I'm glad you made the time. I'd like to say thank you for coming. I'm glad you made the time.
I'd like to welcome a special guest to the stream. This person has a heart of gold and an amazing mind. Often referred to as the most interesting man in the world. A master guitarist, composer, songwriter, and visionary. Please welcome the venerable Grandfather Dragonfly.
Thank you, Grandfather Dragonfly, for honoring us with your presence. Please say something kind to our friends in chat and others watching now and in the future.
Holy mackerel. Wow.
Hey, good morning.
I think they described the wrong person. That's somebody else, man.
Oh man.
Good morning, Micah. I saw that in there. Good morning. I mean,
Micah's avuncular, Micah.
Anyway.
Yes, and good morning to Conspiracy Music. Hope you're doing fantastic. I know you're getting ready to kick off an exciting show on Friday. So everybody who is here, check out Conspiracy Music this Friday. Rockin' rabbit holes. It's pretty cool. And yes, awesome intro, right?
Yeah, man.
You deserve it. And we have one more at the moment as well.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy you are here. I'm so happy. I'm so happy you are here. I'm excited to welcome the man that never sleeps, the infinite creator of art and an artist's expression of love and light. Subscribe to his channel and shop his base as merchandise. Just Me Art Fan. Just Me Art Fan. Just Me Art Fan. Just Me Art Fan. Thank you for your arrival and welcome to the conversation.
Oh, how cool. Man, Just Me Art Fan has some cool backgrounds, man.
Yes, he
Yeah, I'm working on my
does.
headphones right now. I can't get them to connect.
Well, take your time. I know the introduction said that you don't sleep, but you may have got 3 minutes in before the show, so that's pretty good. There we go. This song kind of gives everybody, takes the edge off. When you have beautiful music to enjoy, and you're on a live stream, you don't have to talk so fast. You just let the music take control. Once again, good morning to everybody who is finding their way into the stream this morning. You are highly appreciated. I generally start the stream out with a few disclaimers. One, I cannot guarantee, even remotely, that you will be entertained here. And that's not exactly the point, neither. We are not in the business of sensationalism. Ooh, do I get to do that? I might get to do that all over again. So we're here to start our day and maybe plant some seeds along the way. That sounded like a nice sip of coffee right there. Let me see if I can make mine sound as delicious. That was good.
Did I make that much noise? Is that what you're saying?
No.
I know that.
Not nearly. But next time you can, if you so desire. Yes, yes, yes. I worked a little bit, I took a little bit more time or a little bit more caution on some clips today that we'll kind of plug in throughout and see how that goes. Hopefully it makes for a little bit more cohesion. But if not, again, it's inconsequential. The important thing, I think, is that we make a choice here and now to have a good day and prepare to face whatever challenges may come our way in this arena, or as what Grandfather Dragonfly would call it. But I forgot, what would you call it again?
You know what? You cut out just when after you said I would say something, and then you cut out. So I don't know what you said.
what do you call this experience that we're having?
Oh, my personal thing is we're in the wilderness. We got to learn to navigate the wilderness. But saying that, you have to have a dispositional optimism. I think that's part of the, in the equation. If every year you go through the same thing, you're depressed, you're unhappy, you're sad, you got to change something in the equation. You know what you do all day long. You wake up, you drink coffee, you do this, and you're still unhappy. Well, change one thing just for the hell of it. Maybe run around the block, or you change one thing and start experimenting with that equation. But dispositional optimism is a real key factor. It's not like positive thinking, but I have seen. I'm 70 years old. I've seen people, quite a few people in my life, and that's the one thing. To have a nice view of life is part of that. That has to be part of that equation to have a good life. To be, find some happiness and joy and whatever. Is that what you were? Did I answer your question?
You did. You did and more. And sometimes it seems a bit daunting to do something new and different. And I think I want to say that that's just like a mental block. It's not real. It's not really hard. It's just an apparatus for some reason that we've developed over time that creates an illusion of difficulty. There's something very simple that you might do. Mm-hmm. You might, instead of tying your left shoe first in the morning, try tying your right shoe.
Yeah, exactly.
Something.
Just break the routine, right? A little bit. Try something to break the routine. Because you know what? That's that is a potent variable.
It is.
Dr. Jordan Peterson says, make your bed. Seems like a small thing, but you know what? It's a part of a big thing.
Yeah, it's really big when it comes to managing our energy. That's what makes it big, I think, when you say that. It's big because I think we feel when our energy becomes stale, we start feeling absorbed in a way, in heaviness. We have a great suggestion here. Brush your teeth with your offhand.
Yeah, anything.
I'm guessing the offhand means not the hand that you normally use to brush your teeth. Maybe like if you're right-handed, you use your left hand. I'm pretty sure that is what that means. But if I'm wrong,
no, I think so.
I'm here to be corrected. Avuncular, I know you have some duties this morning, but if you were available, I did drop a link in your Discord.
I would personally love to see you. Although Manakoa, you just have a picture of yourself talking, and I like to see you move. You're around. You know what I mean? I don't know why. So.
Oh, it's because I'm naked. Sometimes I do the morning shows naked.
Oh, so I don't feel bad. I really don't have any. I just have underwear on. I have underwear on.
Yeah. That's kind of.
Hey. Let
Hello,
me see.
hello.
Oh, you're not naked.
Not really naked. I should have been.
You
You
know,
could
I
see.
remember.
You could see
You
my
know,
man
when
boobs.
when I was a teenager, 16, I was 16 years old, and I was really depressed. I was thinking, oh, life sucks, this and that, you know. And when something came to my mind, I believe this is the divine. I heard this. They go, well, you're unhappy, you're depressed. Why don't you go to eat at a restaurant, take off all your clothes? That'll take your depression away.
That would definitely.
Yeah, you won't think about being depressed while you're dancing naked and everybody's
Gawking
creating
at
this
you.
big scene. All the divine was saying to me was, you can do something. My friend, actually, I used that on him. He didn't go for it, though. We were riding motorcycles around, and he was going to therapy because he was depressed all the time. And this is I was 45. I think he was 55 at the time. And he was telling me, I didn't know, though. He was saying, yeah, I go to a therapist. I'm just... Tomorrow, why don't we put on pink ballet suits or whatever you call them, tutus? Put on some tutus, pink tutus, get on our motorcycles, go to the band, all our stuff, just in that, and don't explain to people what you're doing. You'll lose your depression really fast. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, it would be impossible to be depressed under such circumstances.
So there's
It
a
would
way out.
be absolutely impossible.
Hello.
Wait. Let me do something real quick. One second. Just bear with me. There may or may not be any method to my madness, but madness it is.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy you are here. I'm so happy. I'm so happy you are here. I'm excited to welcome the man that never sleeps, the infinite creator of art and an artist's expression of love and light. Subscribe to his channel and shop his based as merchandise. Just Me Art Fan. Just Me Art Fan. Just Me Art Fan. Just Me Art Fan. Thank you for your arrival and welcome to the conversation.
Dude, that is cool.
Is that cool? Good morning.
That is cool. Good morning.
Yeah, you know what?
Super cool.
I find myself like I want to prepare like the material for the show, like the subject matter and stuff like that. But instead, like I get caught in these like outlines, having the outline, having the overlays, and doing this stuff instead, which I like to do a lot more apparently. So I was.
Dude, I love that background with the waves. That is killer.
Yeah.
Yep.
I changed it up a little bit from last time, so it's in slow 50% speed and just a slightly different clip. I was trying to get it to be a little bit more seamless when it loops, but
When it loops through.
yeah, it's kind of hard to do.
That's
But
good, man. That is cool. It's hard to not watch the waves.
Yes. That's what happened last time. I was looking at
Yeah.
it.
yeah, it just kind of
Takes
takes
me
you
away.
away, right?
Yeah.
Jinx, you owe me a soda pop?
I tiny soda.
The same thing is kind of with fire, right? Fire does that to you. You know, you watch the fire in a fireplace, you get lost
Oh
in
yeah.
that. That's so neat. I wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah, just camping. I'll just get lost in the fire. Just
Yeah,
finding
yeah.
my peace of mind. Just watching the fire.
Yeah, I wonder what
Heck yeah.
like type of magic and I think I'm with the right crowd to be asking this, but what type of just connection we have with the water and with the fire that we can, again, just depending how distracted we are, but if a lot of us could really just connect naturally and sit and be there and almost quiet that inner dialogue for a bit without too much trouble.
It draws us like to a basic core nature source. It just for me, it captivates me, man. It makes all of the problems of the world disappear. It's like at its most divine, natural state, you know, being near water or being near fire, experiencing the warmth or experiencing, you know, the flowing waves, the sound, the water around you. It's like the elements of life in their most natural state is where I find my most state of zen, I guess you would say.
Oh, that's beautiful. Give me just a quick moment, please. There's a lot going on, and I'm, just shifting from one scene to another and trying to do cool stuff.
I was praying in hopes that you would join us, and by the grace of God you have came. I was praying
That's cool.
in hopes that you would join us, and you're here, and that's amazing. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, all right. Oh, look at that.
that.
It's his fountain.
That is cool.
Good morning. How is everyone? Can you hear
All
me?
right.
We can hear you.
Yeah,
All right.
you sound great.
Good to hear you. That's a
Nice to hear you too. Got a little bit of cold, so I got
If you
someone else's voice today.
if you turn your
Sound manly.
phone sideways, it will fill that whole screen up with that view.
Ooh, lovely.
Yeah.
that's cool.
And then it fills that whole screen. That is cool, man. Water on water.
Big water takes little water.
Yeah.
I'm getting dizzy though.
Yeah, my little thing doesn't want to stay
Doesn't want to
anymore.
lock in.
No.
It got mad at you.
My kickstanded too many times too.
I'll try to keep it seamless.
I bet you guys are the kind of people that love to sleep during rain, a hard rain. I sleep so good during that. Ooh,
Oh yeah. I love it when it rains. I love the smell of when it rains. I just love the sound of the rain beating off whatever it's beating off of. It's just
yeah,
relaxing.
yeah.
I remember we did a night of camping near, what was that beach called? It was kind of near Camp Pendleton. San Diego area, and there was some big, kind of loud crashing waves, and they just rolled in nonstop, and sleeping and hearing that was amazing. Amazing. And it was loud.
I like being by the creek for the same reason. Camp by a beautiful creek or a nice river. Oh man, that's where it's at. Just to hear the water. Yeah, even just the sound of that running water in that fountain. Just water flowing. Making it sweet music.
So I got a quick question for Micah.
Yes.
What did... You wanted warning water, you said, huh?
Too loud?
No, that was mine. That was like a background sample
right.
right there.
I think like I cut out for a second. I couldn't hear.
Which I will stop. I'm curious, how did you celebrate the 25th anniversary of the Matrix?
You know, I didn't even think about it.
The movie?
When was the 26th anniversary of the Matrix?
I think the 25th.
Well, really?
A few months ago.
So,
all right.
Was it last year or the year before? The original writer and author of The Matrix won the lawsuit against the production film companies that stole the book The Matrix, the story. The original author and writer of that was successful in her lawsuit against the people that stole the idea and produced the movie. She actually wrote 3 books. Yeah, cool stuff.
No, I didn't. I wasn't aware of the lawsuit. Something that I remember hearing way back when is that, I mean, I did hear about the movie getting jacked. You know, I'm sure it happens way too often.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I heard was that Terminator and Matrix were all some greater story from some
Blade
lady,
Runner.
where
Yeah.
they're like, where the
Same-
the Terminator
same group of authors.
succeeded the Matrix.
I've definitely
Yes.
watched some videos on fan theory of that topic.
Oh, okay.
If I remember correctly, same author. If I remember correctly, because yeah, it was an extension. There was Matrix 1, 2, 3, the trilogy, and then the spin-off of it was the Rise of the Machines. You know, the inception of John Connor to fight the machines, much like Morpheus, Neo. You know, a lot of them spin-offs, as Hollywood does.
I believe Blade Runner is in that family as well.
You know what? I've seen Blade Runner more than once, but I just don't
I believe you're
remember
right.
much of it. Which I guess probably the many times I've seen it more when I was pretty young. But I think I revisited, at least seen the new one, however many years ago that came out. We were chatting earlier before you two fine gentlemen arrived about this amazing technique that Grandfather Dragonfly presented to anyone who might be experiencing something such as depression. And it was. Would you explain the technique, if you will?
Oh, do you want me to start from being the teenager, or tell the story of me and the guy I used to ride motorcycles with?
Yeah, let's do the motorcycle one.
Okay, so all it was, and I learned it as a teenager because it was kind of, I was instructed to do something like this, but I rode with this guy for a while, for about 5 years. We were riding around, go, a couple times a week, just ride around the Bay Area to a therapist. And I was shocked because I didn't know, I didn't sense anything. And he said, yeah, I've been really depressed for decades. I'm finally going to a therapist. I said, well, I got something you can try. It worked for me when I was a teenager, but here it is. So tomorrow, let's put on pink tutus, ballet outfits. We'll put them on ourselves, and we'll go riding. We'll do our banking. We'll go to each other's banks. We'll go to the grocery store like that. And the rule is no explanation. If somebody says, what are you guys doing? Hey, what? This is us. Will not feel depressed at all. Most likely you're gonna feel stupid. And but you won't feel depressed. Well, that was something I learned as a teenager because I was depressed. And when I was kind of voicing this to the powers that be, they just told me, hey, go to a restaurant, take off all your clothes and jump on a table and start de flamenco. And I got it right away that was, like we can do so much. We can do things, we don't have to, in fact, kind of going back to.
That makes depression a mind state, so you can change it.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, and it's caused by things
So I love your analogy, right? It's like I can be depressed in my feeling. Now, if I smash my finger with a hammer, I'm not worried about the feeling of depressed. I'm worried about my finger.
Yeah, it's a distraction. I remember in the Castaneda book, Manicoa, correct me because this is like 50 years ago that I read these things, 40 years ago. He said, Don Juan said to Carlos, yeah, if you get depressed, that's just the powers that be telling you you need to evict yourself from that situation. Whatever you're doing.
Yeah, you are in a place that is not meant for you, so it's time to shift out of that place. That's a universal gift telling you that. Why are you depressed? Because you are where you are not meant to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
Actually, interesting technique that it gives in one of the books is finding a power spot. So wherever the overall place that you might find yourself, suggested finding a place where that boosts your power rather than dwindles it away. I thought that was an interesting concept as well. And also kind of like just connecting the dots to these conversations is it to me like that whole process that you described with putting yourself in this awkward situation. That sounds like alchemy to me.
Yeah. I would say it is.
Yeah.
I'm glad he did. I'm glad he didn't say yes though, because honestly, I'm a coward. I would have been afraid to do that.
So if I've learned anything, man, it's like a lot of the things that I have allowed my mind to place fear on, I don't do because I'm afraid or because I feel it's complicated. there's that two ways of looking at it: fear everything and run, or face everything and rise. And then when I face everything and rise, it's like get outside of my comfort zone. I'm like, man, that wasn't so hard. Why was I blocking against myself from doing that the whole time? Like, damn,
Yeah.
I should have dropped that wall down a long time ago.
Yeah.
So I created my own discomfort.
Yeah, and I think that's interesting. We actually, briefly before you jumped in here, we were talking about just that. Just the illusion of difficulty. With doing something that you haven't done before, maybe meditating for the first time, maybe starting to paint or whatever it might be. It seems to me like we create this like yeah, go ahead.
I was just thinking, so things that are challenging to us are only as challenging as our mind's construct creates it to be at its own angle of perception.
The other thing you were talking about, the comfort zone, being in that comfort chair. I have kind of watching a lot of stuff on YouTube for the last 3 years about with these thought leaders who give us ideas about how to do things. One of the things I see them saying all the time, hear them saying all the time, is that people they never grow through comfort. And I thought, we should look at these confrontations as a blessing. Not as a curse, but as a blessing,
Yeah. Because comfort is in a state of stagnance, non-growth. Comfortable is where you stay where you are comfortable. I like this space. I will make this here. Now I am no longer flowing because I'm comfortable. Uncomfortable is a state of learning. Yeah.
There was something
it's like,
that
bring it on.
came and gone. Yeah. Well, okay. And I was thinking I was thinking about the petty tyrant. What a blessing, right? He says it's to have a petty tyrant in your life for, a warrior, for someone with a warrior mentality. Because it's guaranteed that you're going to be tested. And as you said a few times, Grandfather Dragonfly, you're going to see what you're made of. If you're practicing, love and light and those type of things, and somebody is put in your path, what that brings the negative energy out of you, maybe even the violence and the anger. That's an important test, because to kind of navigate what we are, we need some sort of realistic reflection of what we are.
I remember a Christian pastor saying something that stuck with me all my life. He says, if somebody gets your goat, only proves you have one.
Yeah. Yep. And I always say, and it's kind of repetitive in my own mind, but these things.
What's the relevance of the goat?
He doesn't
Take it
understand
away.
what he wants to know what the goat was.
I'm saying because I've heard it a dozen times, 100 dozen probably. I've heard the context, but I've forgotten.
What is the goat?
I don't know. That's just an old saying that I repeated. That I mean, I get what it's saying, but I don't know what the goat symbolizes really.
Me neither. Well, thanks everybody for showing up. That ends our broadcast.
There's a
Thank you. Good night.
there's a it's what's the word I'm looking for? There's like a saying or an acronym or something like that for the goat. I heard it a few times and it's pretty good or whatever it was for its acronym, but I cannot freaking remember what it was.
Or the greatest of all time?
Scapegoat? Scapegoat. I remember that.
Yeah, that might be it. Greatest of all time. I mean, I like that one.
Yeah, this is kind of like when he used that, I just kind of skipped trying to understand that symbology because I don't. I get the gist of it, but yeah, when I kind of dive into the actual words, I go, huh. I don't really. The goat part maybe doesn't translate so easily. And that goes with a lot of like of different sayings where we no longer like rule of thumb and stuff like that. We no longer really have a understanding of why it's used, but we understood the point of it. It's always fun to try to delve in and find, because words are spellbinding, aren't they? We have all been, most likely, unless you're super cool, spellbound by words. We've had words take us to the point of fury. People have killed over words. Words have caused people to fall in love.
Fighting words.
Yeah, exactly. And
Just
since we're all men here, we probably have had
the
Sorry about that. Bad sneeze. Yeah, go ahead. It's just me, our fan.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I was just thinking, so language in itself, if 95% of the of communication is tone, energy, and body language, the leftover percentage that is the spoken word, no matter the language, is the incantation, spellcasting side of it into the ether of words carrying frequency, energy, power that can have an effect on a DNA biocellular resonance level of whom so shall hear it. So it's like an incantation. It is like spellcasting. Language, the spoken word is spellcasting in its origin.
I could add to that. I just heard it this morning.
You're taking language. You're taking language, and then you're adding that. Yeah.
Again, I'm like hooked on YouTube. I watch all these thought leaders and ideas. In fact, I watched some Alan Watts. I forgot. Anyway, the story I heard was about a little girl who said that her dad ridiculed her all her life, told her, "You're stupid, you ain't gonna get nowhere, blah blah blah," all such negative things. And when the interviewer asked the guy who wrote this book, I think his name was Dr. Dottie. I just heard of him just this morning, and he said, "There you go. That little girl who was ridiculed and had all these negative things said to her, became a neurosurgeon." So, like Gandalf saying that, you don't know what Gollum's part is in all this, Frodo. So don't go around thinking you're going to kill people because they don't fit into your nicety, loving, positive little. Yeah, that little girl became something because of that. Now the other thing is true too. People get encouraged. Yeah, so we don't know how it fits into us personally, You know.
So
Yeah.
that is the driving force. When somebody passes judgment on me, like my life is very much similar to that story. A lot of people tell me no, whatever, it's not gonna work. You know, the people project the what is not on my what is, right? So that only gives me the inspiration to use that as a driving force.
Mm-hmm.
So it's everything. You're supposed to stay on your own divine path and purpose, but all of those things that are the outside of self are the opposition in which your divine purpose and path is.
And that's
the
a
fuel
blessing
for the force.
Yeah, and it's a blessing. I mean, all these hardships that happen to us, you think we'd become, bitter people, But instead, the opposite happened. We didn't become bitter. We were rather.
Our Are blessings wrapped in a beautiful bow, or are blessings in life usually come through hard life lessons of oh shit?
real fear that the whole machinery of the your existence is going to stop. That's what I used to imagine. Oh, this is so terrible.
Yeah.
This is it. I'm doomed.
There was a
But that's what makes humans so incredibly brilliant and powerful, is because in those perilous times where we would be negative projected on us, we rise above that shit. We're humans and we rise above that shit. Like, we are creative, we are intuitive, we are ingenuitive in our mind, we adapt, we overcome, we persevere. Even in times where people tell us, no, you can't, no, you won't. Our psychological as humans, in most senses, if we're lucky, we're like, sit back and watch, because you just told me I couldn't. Now I'm going to invent in my mind all the ways that I'm gonna.
Yeah.
There was a gentleman. His name is Joe Gerard, and he's in the Guinness Book of World Records as the greatest car salesman of all times. And his statistics were like ridiculous, like what he was able to achieve, and of course his techniques and everything like that. It is really cool. And
I bet I could
go
be in
ahead.
that book.
Absolutely,
I could
absolutely.
probably be in that book a few dozen times. What is the world record for the most music created in a month?
Yeah, absolutely. And just kind of going off what you guys are saying,
triple that.
he according to his talks and his book, I don't know how many books. I know I at least read one, but he was driven by his father, again, according to him, always saying that he was never going to be anything, that he was a bum, basically, right? And he's never going to be anything. And this seemed to like drive him, like feel his. And it's interesting because when I think about that, yeah, and he was, I guess, wise enough over time to understand that was a blessing. That was a, you know what I means, people. Oh, you people watching?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Don't make me explain it.
I took accountability for everything that happened to me and in my entire life, and then when I did that for myself, I was like, holy shit. My entire life, even all the crap that happened, all the good, all the bad, especially the bad. Without the bad, I wouldn't be here where I am today. Every bit of it, every moment. is a blessing in a state of learning and not being comfortable and stagnant, complacent. Like, bring it on. What's next? Like, holy shit, what's next? But what's next?
Avuncular, are you still there, brother?
I am here.
Okay, cool.
I'm just nursing my voice a little bit here.
Right on, right on. Just checking in with you, seeing how you do.
Yeah.
Seeing what it
Voice going
is
out
like.
Yeah, I got a little cold going on.
I lose my voice once a year, every year for the last 20 years. I get chronic bronchitis, pretty bad, once a year. Literally, voice drops out one time, a solid one time a year.
You were mentioning yesterday, Micah, that are you still taking Georgie to work today?
I am taking him to work. He doesn't start until noon, so
you got a little bit of time.
yeah, I got a little time. He
Okay,
had
cool.
been going around 11, so I'd have to leave here at close to 10. So, but yeah, he's going at noon today.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna. I think I'm going to. We'll stream to 11 if that's all right with you guys. And I have some videos that kind of might inspire some different directions of the conversation. Kind of see how that goes, see where it goes. And this particular video is from a Next Level Soul podcast. Pretty fun interviews as far as I'm concerned. I enjoy the stream for at least a few years now, and he's talking to a gentleman named Rizwan Verk, who's wrote a few books, and they chat a little bit about the simulation theory and also the Matrix. And this podcast was conducted on the 25th anniversary of the Matrix, so I thought that was kind of cool. And I know that Avuncular is a Matrix enthusiast, maybe even a scholar. I know might argue me with that, but I think that's the case. So let's see. I'm gonna try to make some adjustments.
And all its complexities.
Yeah.
And its theologies and philosophies and.
You're a little quiet.
Yeah. A little. You need to turn up your microphone.
Oh, me?
Yes.
Yeah. That might be a little. There we go. I was just saying, I love the Matrix, all its philosophies and theologies and everything in between.
Yeah, it is really cool.
I do have trouble with the concept that we're in a simulation. I've heard it a zillion times, and even the Buddhists and the Zen people say it's a simulation.
Synchronicity,
but,
right there.
Yeah, but what's going on? And when the Zen master came upon students talking about simulation, and then this is all an illusion. They go, one student saying, "Yeah, it's all an illusion," but the master hit him over the head with his walking stick and cracked him over the head, and like, "Ow, ow! Is that an illusion?" So this has got to be it's got to be together. It's something you can't separate the two. That's just what I'm thinking. Right. I don't know.
Perfect synchronicity from some stuff I was reading today. Nikola Tesla also said, yeah, this is a simulation that we live in. Okay, don't think of it as an illusion. Think of it as a simulation, just like the movie Matrix. You want to upload a data file? Upload that data file and then project it into your reality like an affirmation into reality. So yeah, we're living in a simulation where us as cosmic, magnificent, badass people can take thoughts from just a thought and put them into a alpha, beta, theta wave frequency transmutation into the ether through thought, frequency, energy vibrations coming out from within. Oh yeah, we live in a fucking simulation. You want to project your future of tomorrow, create it right now. Just be conscious enough and aware enough right now to do so.
Any thoughts there, Micah?
I kind of lost my train of thought.
Okay, good.
My bad.
That's we're supposed to do that. That's actually prerequisite to coming on to the Morning Light Radio show.
He is right, senile old man.
That picture kind of got me.
The picture of the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watch him too. I watch him with his guests.
Yeah. Okay, so
Is that what people look like when I talk?
let's see. I hopefully I fixed the volume, but I don't know because now this will be the test. But so I think this is a concept that maybe we could discuss a little bit. He's kind of giving a scenario, almost like the Truman kind of thing going on. But I'll let it play, and then we'll get some ideas from everybody's if there's any. If there's not, we'll move on.
Did you say
Do
the
this,
Truman
but-
Show thing?
Yes.
Yeah. If you could take a brand new baby, bring it into a world, and only teach it
Cool.
that this room is the world, or that this is the planet, and they have no other way to know what is real or what is not because they haven't been informed of it, that would be a really interesting idea.
I'll play that one more time.
But I mean, you can't really do this, but if you could take a brand new baby, bring it into a world, and only teach it that this room is the world, or that this is the planet, and they have no other way to know what is real or what is not because they haven't been informed of it, that would be a really interesting idea.
It touches on
First
the
thing that
concept
hits
of
my
the
mind.
allegory of the cave.
Ooh.
The allegory of the cave.
Oh,
Absolutely.
man.
I'm
Well,
glad
I
you
was
mentioned
just-
that because, yeah, they literally in there again. I'm just taking little pieces, but they did reflect that story as well.
Yeah.
Man, the first thing that hit my mind. The first thing that hit my mind hearing that was the relevance of the real hard truths in the world that people aren't ready for, right? What about children that are trafficked in underground tunnel systems as part of the human trafficking operation that have never seen the light of day with the pigment of their skin nor the light in their eyes from the top side? And
Yeah,
they're also
this
taught that there is no... Yeah, man.
Well, I think there's sorry, just kind of multitasking here. There's he kind of prefaces, and I think it cut a little bit of it out, but before he says, like, just as an idea, because this would be inhumane, right, to do, but without kind of going into the inhumanity and what's, that's kind of like what I thought about. Yeah, that would be inhumane, but there is a lot of there's a lot of inhumanity being conducted. Hey. Can you tell us, can you kind of just tell us a little bit about what the allegory of the cave is for anyone who's watching and listening who may not be familiar with that?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, I mean, it's the same thing as what they're saying about, the kids and growing up in a room, but it's just people in a cave, and all they can see is the shadows from the outside world, and then they make a concept of what that is, but obviously they have no idea what it is because
So
all
we
they're
live in
seeing
the
is the
allegory of the
shadow.
cave,
Uh,
based on the propaganda wheel, the whole government, their lies, their deception, the programming, the indoctrination. We are the allegory of the cave, unless those few of us choose to be the opposition to that, and we step out of the cave.
And I think that's the reason that story was shared, right? By, I don't know if it was a Platonic story, a Plato story. I believe it was.
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
It is
Looks like
interesting. So,
Cully,
like,
you're in California,
yes.
right? I mean, California, I know for a fact, 1,200 children rescued from a deep state-controlled military underground facility bunker in the state of California. 1,200 kids rescued that have never seen the top side.
Oh, wow. I never knew that.
Cave allegory.
Yeah,
Cave allegory. There's a lot of things.
And I was thinking about
A lot of things.
there wasn't, and I hope I get this right, because this is information I got a long time ago, that the experiment was that when these babies are born, this was also a secret thing, their government, and they wouldn't touch the babies, like kiss them or hug them or do anything, and they died quickly, which just shows you, man, this powerful stuff in hugging people and giving them a little kiss or something, That
Yeah,
kind of fits it.
absolutely.
I mean, the babies they're not even really.
Oh, yeah. If everything is energy,
certainly their spirit and humanity in them already was affected by such a horrible thing.
yeah.
I kind of like watching this clip.
But
Yeah, man. um,
It
watching
just
this
got me
clip,
thinking, man. Like we are the
Yeah.
cave. We are the cave allegory.
Oh yeah.
I think that's the point of that allegory, and it's interesting too because I think what we want to do, and you guys just, if I'm thinking way off, that's what we're here for. But I think the point of, one of the things that happens with the allegory of the cave is part of the restriction of our own thinking is we think that we're the ones that are seeing things clearly, that we have the correct vision, that we have broken the matrix, and we think that we need to help other people be free of the matrix and that they are stuck. Just going to mute you for a second, brother. You could unmute it whenever, and I'll unmute it too, but I know it sounds like you're doing a little moving around. So, yeah, what do you think about that?
Say that one more time. I had it, and then dog barked, and I lost it.
Yeah, me too. So, the allegory of the cave, right? So, again, so people are sitting in a cave and they're watching shadows on a wall that's kind of dancing around by the firelight.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They give this meaning.
Yeah.
So here, what I said
It
was
like you saying us to.
Well, and then this person, one of the people who are watching that illusion right on the wall, it goes out of the cave and into the earth as we know it, right? And says, "Oh wow," and finds out that what the actual shadows come from, and sees, has a further understanding of what the world is, and been liberated, and so on and so on. This person goes back in, shares this information, right, with the other folks, and then becomes the outcast. In a way. And what I was saying is,
They
I
call
think
that the
for I think
conspiracy theorist.
yeah, exactly. And I think like what happens to most of our thought processes is that we are kind of under the belief that we see through the matrix. We see through the incongruencies, and that we are have a better perception and viewpoint of how things should be and how people should act, and we seemingly do project that.
I would just say we're more aware of it. Like, I try and tell people, like, anybody can be aware of it. Don't take things that I say at face value. Research them for yourself, right? So it's like we have stepped outside the cave to merely see that we've been duped. Now, we can tell people and show them, yes, we're crazy, because we tell them, no, you guys are all comfortable in there. We're getting fucked, right? So the guy that's going to go tell the comfortable people that they're getting fucked is going to get laughed at and mocked at. But at the same time, he only has a visual perspective and perception of how we're being duped. I mean, it is infinitely unfathomable in how bad the shit is in the world.
Well, part of it is total innocence. Everybody has to grow up that way. In fact,
Yeah.
you have to, and this is how you perceive things. But I always wondered, what would I, if I was Donald Trump's son or Barack Obama's son? Those children are groomed differently. They see the world through different eyes. They can't. If they instantly do that, they're not trying to. What the heck's going on there?
That one's not me.
That was you?
That one's not me. I think Avuncular's taking
we can't do
taking a bath.
We can't.
I thought I was muted.
We can't take
Oh, I
that.
unmuted you. I unmuted you for that purpose.
We come by it honestly. We come by it
actually-
honestly. What has to happen? You get shaken up. You become a shaman. You become a sorcerer. You take psychedelics, and then you start to learn. Those do teach you other ways of looking at things, and literally you can become an alien thinker through psychedelic drugs. Really, like shamans, they speak to the freaking plants. So we can't buy it honestly, but we can get out of it. We don't have to look through those eyes. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. God dang it.
Well, it's like we're here to be the chink in the chain in the generational curses and bonds of the indoctrination, because we are brave enough to question it all. We are the opposition. We are the ones that have been, made fun of or whatever for daring to question. What the known that is given to us not being the known. And there's so much more to it. But it's like the older we get, ignorance is bliss, and ignorance is such a damn choice of people to stay stagnant in their comfort and not grow. But those are the ones that stand up and fight tooth and nail to tell the people that have taken the time to know, instead of stay complacent and comfortable. Seems like those are always the ones that are the most combative, the quickest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just
agree.
hearing. Yeah, I was just real throw this in. Like I said, I'm always watching YouTube, and I heard this story from a guy, and he said he's a novelist, and he wrote some good books. Talking about a guy who when he first met him, he had $1 million watch on. Now to me, it's like, what? Like Casio $10 watches work just fine. I don't know anything about $1 million watch. And he said the guy had billions of dollars, and he said, I'll pay you $500,000 if you can make me feel happy. This guy's still looking for happiness. We think, when I was young, if you had tons of bucks, that'll make you happy. But what does make you happy? You got to admit, what makes you happy is not starving. Have you being warm when it's cold outside? Yeah, those things. And in this system, you need a little bit of money, but
Happiness is me having a car instead of having to walk everywhere.
Well, for some reason, and let me apologize in advance. With the story that you just shared about the guy asking for someone to make him happy for $500,000.
I know.
Yeah, the first thing that came to my mind was the Indecent Exposure. I think that's the name of the movie. Or no, Indecent Proposal or something like that.
It's one of those.
They're
Like,
offering
you
the
could-
guy $1 million to spend a night with his wife.
Somehow. I guess that's projecting, right?
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking too, man. It's like, let's
How
chalk up
creative can
happiness
you be?
versus financial wealth. Happiness versus financial wealth. Who out there got a shit ton of money that's really happy? There are some, because they live a good, wholesome life, and they have quantified their universe in their own way. But like, I'm broke as shit, past broke, but I'm still happy as fuck. Right? Spirit's happy, soul's happy, smile's happy, heart's happy. Explain that one.
Oh yeah, I'm with you there, man. We're fortunate. The other day, I don't know if you remember this, Manakoa, but in the Zen thing I was referring to, when the guy got enlightened, and they said, "Oh, how does it feel to be enlightened?" He said, "As miserable as ever." And I was telling Manakoa, well, me, it's the opposite. I'm not enlightened, but I ain't miserable. So I don't know what happened there.
Well,
I'm not miserable.
then truly you are on the right path then, because in thinking you're enlightened but not being enlightened, and the enlightening is realizing that you're humble because you don't know it all, but there is much to learn.
The cave allegory. Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, I made that up real quick.
That's cool.
Cool. I like on the fly artwork going on.
Oh yeah.
Well, let me play the
I don't
next
even know
clip.
how you do that stuff. Man, that's cool.
Yeah, well, he'll teach you. Hey, that's what he does.
Teach it.
He'll teach you how to do it. Hey, cool picture. Okay, I'm going to play the next one because you're going to be amazed how literally everything we're talking about is really in line. Okay, but just before we do that,
The synchronicities.
yes, big time. There, dun dun dun. If anybody would like to purchase any of these images, please contact me or Just Me Art Fan, and we will. What do you call that when you make a deal? We will.
Compromise
No, there's
or negotiate.
getting close. We're getting warm. Anybody in chat, help me out. Broker, we'll broker the deal for you.
Oh yeah.
For the right price, we can have any art you need.
Yeah, for the
And
right
it's
price,
not going to
we'll
be
throw
it's
in
not going to be
15
cheap,
extra.
but it will be valuable. Let's
It
say
will come
that.
with 15 freebies at the rate of purchase. It will come with 15 free.
What a sell. What a sell.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love it. All right, Avuncular. I'm going to play the next clip. If well, are you you good to go?
Yeah. I was
Okay.
actually just doing a couple duties.
Yeah, I've done some duties in my days as well.
That was actually me collecting some water to put in the pond because my pond was a
cool.
little low. Not this one, but the other one.
You weren't drowning a rat, were you?
I was not.
Okay, good.
I got the cats for that.
Yeah. All right, so this one
Nobody's
is
getting waterboarded.
a little bit more about. Yeah, no, I was getting waterboarded.
I 100% thought I was still muted right then.
All right, I'm going to load this one up. It's going to just play automatically, so here we go.
Soulman, it would be the moment when you put on the headset or you plug into, the Matrix. Going back to the movie, they had the little, socket in the back, what we call a BCI or brain computer interface today. And you forget, right? There's what's called the veil of forgetfulness that gets
Did he
pulled
just
over
say
you.
a brain
And because the
computer
environment is so real,
interface?
you become attached to that body.
Yes.
And so the moment of ensoulment is when you no
I'll play it
longer
again.
are able to remember that you
No,
had
let it
this
go, you're good.
independent existence outside, and you are now fully taken up by the dream world of reality. And I think that
Okay. Let me
So-
just run. I want to run that
so-
one back because it's a short clip.
Yeah, he put that in a
Just one more
mechanical
time.
term when
environment,
it's
if you
so
would
much
explain
more
this process of
simplified.
ensoulment, it would be the moment when you put on the headset or you plug into, the Matrix. Going back to the movie, they had the little, socket in the back, what we call a BCI or brain computer interface today. And you forget, right? There's what's called the veil of forgetfulness that gets pulled over you. And because the environment is so real, you become attached to that body. And so the moment of ensoulment is when you no longer are able to remember that
is
you had
awesome.
this independent existence outside, and you are now fully taken up by the dream world of reality. And I think that
Bingo.
Yeah,
Dude,
go
you know
ahead.
what's cool about this? That's perfect, dude. So to me, when he's speaking those terms, now like take the Matrix plug in the back of the dome out of the concept, right? So the 21 gram experiment, you lose 21 grams in body weight when your spirit partakes its way from your body when you pass away. That's been an experiment's done its thing, right? So that connection process where we get the forgetfulness veil is when the spirit enters into the cosmic skin suit of which we are placed through the birth canal of the mother like a gift. But it's like kind of like thinking about it like this, dude. It's like if you associate every single day as in a birth year, isn't that kind of a paganism to the skin suit cosmic world, even though we live in a simulation universe, right? Or we live in a basically a simulation, if you will, for the skin suit to trick the soul that it's for the skin suit, even though the skin suit world is temporary, but it's a simulation that we can operate into reality of what we think and project.
Yeah, that's deep right there. The other
That's
part
wild
that
shit.
yeah, that is wild, and like I think that like kind of the interesting another interesting part about this is kind of the claim, the attempt to define the moment of, they're calling it ensoulment here, which I think deserves
You have the
probably
paganized-
more time than I'm
do you
going to
have
be
the
able to give that. Yeah.
Do you have a paganized associated day of which you were contained in ensoulment?
Huh?
It's kind of weird how they put it a birthday to celebrate. It's kind of weird how they give you a birthday every year to celebrate the ensoulment, to trick you away from your soul in a soul hour system. It's funny how that works.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to wrap my head around the idea of this moment where, you know, you almost forgot where you came from in a way, and kind of
That veil of forgetfulness.
yeah, and yeah, and then you kind of have to just surrender to the experience, to the human experience. It's a strange thing, and whether whether that happens, during the alchemy of conception, whether that happens along the way where, the flesh, when the actual spirit and soul merges with flesh. That's an interesting topic within itself, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yeah,
But
dude.
yeah.
I was thinking too. So, just remember how I was just saying the 21 gram experiment, almost like the soul has weight. When you die, 21 grams leaves your body as your spirit takes flight. Had me thinking. We talked about this the other day. If you were to meditate in a meditative deep state where you could actually astral travel, project outside of yourself, your body, for an astral travel experience under meditation where you can self-produce DMT instead of having to take something to induce DMT in the brain. Very curious to see if a living person that does an astral travel temporarily loses 21 grams in weight and then re-enters back into their body to introduce 21 grams of weight back. Highly intrigued by that.
And they have
Yes.
done an experiment that you know of, huh? That's a good idea, really. I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So, like I said, they've done the 21 gram experiment when a body passes away.
Right,
They
I'd heard
take
of that.
21 grams lost when the spirit departs, and they account for all of the expelled fluids out of the body. They weigh all that shit. They weigh all of the mass, but the mass that is unaccounted for is the missing 21 gram link. And that's got me thinking, just because I don't think it's ever been done before, if somebody was to astral travel like true, not just making up the bullshit, if they would
Yeah,
actually
that's cool.
physically in weight, in space and time, lose 21 grams of weight temporarily.
It's cool, kind of you know what you should know right now about science is that they're not going to be investing money into a publicly shared study that is
has to-
investigating something so
funding.
important.
Funding and science, bro. Those two are like the evil brothers.
And
If you
and
don't
this is
have their
actually
agenda, you ain't getting funded.
and I believe one of the lead scientists that was working on that theory, the 21 gram theory. He kind of complained about not having adequate funding and wanting more precise instruments.
Same
And
with
he said that he was never able to get the funding that he wanted, or even earn it, or and find people interested.
Tesla said the same thing. John Searle said the same thing. Any of the great, brilliant thinkers of our times are the least funded in history. Why? Because they didn't fit and fill a narrative of the quite literal opposition of our growth. If it suited the stagnant comfortability of the skin suit wants, needs, minds of the flesh, then that is thriving in a financial funding environment in the scientific world. If it is something that is beneficial in a 100% wholesome level, well, they just take it and twist it into a bad way anyway and then fund that.
That's like Tesla, from what I understand, and he discovered that we could have free energy. Probably now can do the same thing, right? But
yeah, we could. We can,
Yeah.
as in it's already been done. I could do it. I don't have funding. Nobody's going to fund me to do it because I know how to do it, and I don't serve a evil, sinister agenda. So,
but the guy who wanted to lay down wires and telephone poles to charge people to make his wallet fat was the reason why it went that way. Free? Jeez.
Yeah,
even
Don't
further
make
than
dollars.
that, even further than that, so that they could take so they could take public utilities and actually switch them over to free energy simultaneously without zero lag and still charge us for an old world system run on an old world system so that they can keep pumping money through their laundering facilitation. I mean, why do we still have power lines? Why do we still have power line companies that every single year it gets stormy, windy, or snows, or fucking a vehicle with a drunk driver fucking farts and wrecks into a pole and we have power problems, right? When we have the capability of having wireless energy transmission, and all of that exists as free energy pulled right out of the ether from electromagnetism, because we are an electromagnetic being in an electromagnetic simulation, which is super cool in itself. So why the fuck... Oh yeah, that's right. It's just part of the sinister agenda for them to charge us public utilities to help facilitate them taking our money, of which they print and orchestrate the structured suffering, as they do, specifically on purpose, like they do in this soul trap system to take us away from soul.
And I think you'll appreciate this. It seems to be the case that our awesomeness is always ahead of the Agent Smiths of this world.
You damn got that right, buddy. Yep. Why? Because love wins. Love is quantum. Love is just infinitely floating around as inspiration and creativity, where the opposite parallax of that has to be thought and bought.
Mr. Cool Frog stopped in and said peace. So I don't know. I think he'd been running around and saying peace, but I don't know if he's sticking around and listening or if he wants to jump in. But if you're still there, let me know what your intentions are. Just joking. If you want to get in, I'll drop the link.
You're still here, brother.
Right.
I know sometimes it's just like nice. We go and say hi to, our friends doing streams and letting them know we're alive and that we're peeking on them.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for the...
I like when they come in and say a few words.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for the fulfillment of what Jesus... The meek shall inherit the earth. Because really...
First we must sheathe our swords.
Right. Yeah. But it's the people who are... The tough guys, they're real tough guys. They're skillful in war, but they sheathe their swords. Right. Yes. And I'm waiting for that to come true. The meek shall inherit the earth, because it looks like right now that the ugly are inheriting the earth. Yeah. So I hate
the nasty.
The nasty. I was going to say I might have used the wrong nasty.
Did you get it, or do you want me to get it?
I got it. Let me take my time with it.
Okay.
Let me take my time with it.
Yep.
I'm just saying that as
do you
you
have
call
a
that,
frog
code?
Intro song too?
I'm saying that as code. and then we'll drop the. We will drop the next piece, because I think we're kind of all... What the hell? We're all kind of building up into where this story is going. What the hell just happened?
Time.
It's a refresh.
I know, I'm like, what am I doing? Okay, so... Yeah, let me get this link set up. But first...
I was praying in hopes that you would join us And by the
Nice.
grace of God, you have came. I was praying in hopes that you would join us, and you're here, and that's amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. For you have came.
I heard the damn intro music and I had to pop myself out. I'm like, no, I can't do this. I'm like,
That's some cool stuff.
Hey, what's happening?
Good
oh,
shit.
not much. Seriously, not much.
Good.
I really the interesting. I was gonna message you, and I was gonna say, no, really, I don't have a lot of time. I shouldn't join you.
But
I'll
yeah,
be
you can come
fine.
and
And then,
jump in, jump
then
out.
Russell's like, I like it when people come in here and say things for a short period of time. I'm like, all right, fine. I'll come in here. I'll
Yes.
say something for a very short period of time.
No, not a.
I say
not
very
a-
short
not
because,
a
like,
short,
within a half
not
hour.
a short period of time. Yeah.
6 hours is short for you.
No, like
some-
within a half hour, I have to get up and finish getting ready to actually go and take Tadpole to a kindergarten roundup thing or whatever. So we kind of have to do some schooling stuff today. Yeah,
That's cool.
Lots of fun. So I mean, at least we were awake before Mom came home at noon. So we're already on a positive note.
Yee. Well, maybe we could get through one clip while you're here. And
okay.
Yeah, even
We're
2
just
minutes.
kinda-
Even 2 minutes is cool, right?
yeah,
Right.
I don't think I have any clips longer than 2 minutes too. So I'll go ahead
I mean,
without
if it's longer than 2 minutes, is it still considered a clip?
you. I don't know. That's a
Real
good question.
Short.
You know, it's
shorts.
we don't do philosophical questions on this show.
No, none at all.
Too early
you
for
guys
that.
don't. Well, I mean, I know you don't answer any.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, only
All right, here we-
theological answers.
Once again, these clips are from a podcast that were taking place on the 25th anniversary of The Matrix. Here we go.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you are the scriptural
Janet
changes
Anderson.
and the physical changes of objects where there's traces. And so the really weird one for me is, so I was in Silicon Valley for a long time. I'm in Arizona now. And at Stanford University, they have one of the bronze casts of Rodin's The Thinker. Right.
Yeah.
And so what is the pose of the Thinker? Do you remember?
I think originally it was this, but is it this? I
Yeah,
think
so
it
if you
might
look
be
at
to the
it
chin.
now,
It's to the chin,
but it's also a light touch on the chin, right? And so, but there are pictures of people, standing next to the statue with the fist up here, and there's actually a picture of George Bernard Shaw, and the title of the picture is G.B. Shaw in the pose of the Thinker, from like 1907 at the unveiling, the night before the unveiling of the bronze statue of Rodin's The Thinker in London. And the guy who took the picture was a well-known photographer, and G.B. Shaw used to pose for him. And he's going like this, right? And it's there in the museums and stuff. Even though if you look at the physical objects today, you look at the actual Thinker today, it's changed. But there are artifacts of the previous change.
So how?
Okay.
Interesting.
So what they're talking about there, if you didn't catch, kind of, I know it's short stuff, but they're talking about the Mandela effect. And giving a specific example of the statue and some possible changes in the timeline.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're talking about timeline manipulation from things like electromagnetic freaking shift, probably shifted from things like CERN, potentially, Mandela effect. I've seen some real live videos of some shit that would blow your mind, bro. One of them, the Berenstein Bears. There's this person, live video on a live podcast. We were in the chat, hanging out. This person walks into the room on video and they'd be tripping, dude. They were like, watch, this writing is going to change when I go from hallway to bedroom right in front of me. Went from Berenstein to Berenstein Bears. Like, dude, like,
I'm
I don't even
confused.
know how to, like, real-time Mandela timeline shit changes.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Very intriguing. But
Yeah, that is very.
a lot of instances that are correlated to this very thing, the statue being manipulated, change, Mandela effect, timeline. Russell knows a lot of things about this. Like, so in a weird roundabout way, the Philadelphia experiment using Tesla technology, there was a United States naval ship, the USS Eldridge. It's funny, that's like my old last name. I just think that's freaking hilarious. Using Tesla technology, they warped a ship with sailors on it, and when it came to the other side of basically its warpage, it didn't end so well. They had ship sailors that were kind of embedded and reatomized as parts of the ship, and it was probably some very, very weird shit going on. But it kind of correlates with that Mandela effect shit. With enough electromagnetic disturbance improperly used, you can shift a timeline on quantum fields of electromagnetics. Like shit, it's pretty incredible what you can do when you start meddling in the thinkings of quantum mechanics, quantum entanglement, quantum electromagnetic universal law. You can almost start breaking veils and dimensions of cosmos with that shit. It's very kind of scary and intriguing all at the same time.
So, Father, are you familiar with this concept, the Mandela effect? Have you?
No, I did read the Philadelphia experiment and watch the movie, but not the Mandela effect. I don't really know what that is. I've come across it in reading stuff, but I haven't, researched it or learned very much about it.
No personal effects or anything. Nothing's ever like you don't remember doing something or whatever, and something it's just not true. It's like that never happened. They can't.
Shazam
I know
and
I have.
Kazam. The movie
All right,
with
thank
Shaq.
you. I guess
Shazam
you know
and
we'll
Kazam.
you take the turn. You take the turn. I'm not here for a few minutes,
I'm actually gonna smoke, so you take all the time you need because I'm gonna be outside. Go for it.
Well, so
hold on. As we're sitting here, as I have a very, very few minutes, myself and a couple of my cousins and a couple others that would always sit there and watch movies. We watched tons and tons of movies. And I remember years later saying something to an ex because I thought it was really odd that it all of a sudden just so happened to be that, like JMath said, Shazam doesn't exist. Shazam doesn't exist. The movie that was created with the likeness of Sinbad. Remember who Sinbad is? He was a comedian that went around, and he was kind of tied into the Cosby family thing or whatever. He had a lot to do with them. Yeah. But for whatever reason, Shazam doesn't exist. Kazam, which is made by some other random dude, does. Shazam no longer exists. I dug through stacks and stacks of videotape from when we were kids trying to find that movie because we watched it and all of us were sitting there looking at each other like, what the fuck are you talking about? It doesn't exist.
So you asked my dad an interesting question.
Motherfucking tape. It's gone. It's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. And we're just like, what the huh? And we all kind of look at each other like, I totally remember watching this goddamn movie.
So you posed the question, and you were asking Grandfather Dragonfly if there was anything throughout his life that he's noticed that seemed to have changed.
Right.
Like, was there any like
and I give you, for instance, that I kind of, it's
Yeah,
been documented that Shazam does not exist and stuff.
and
like that.
which perplexed many people,
Right.
many people.
Right.
Was there like any song lyrics, like maybe a Beatles song or something, where you thought it was always this, and all of a sudden it's like the lyric has changed?
There's a lot of songs that people do that to, though. There's a lot of songs that people do that to. They always think that they're actually singing something, or that they hear something that they've never really actually sang. Because remember, back in the day, we didn't really have words. They didn't have lyrics for everything. You'd sit there and you'd listen to a tape over and over again on repeat and write down the words yourself, trying to figure out what it was that they were really trying to convey in their songs. Because they didn't give you lyrics. Nowadays, you just go and you type lyrics in your Google or whatever, and it's going to feed you the words, feed you the right words. So I think a lot of the words.
You're saying it's not the same thing as a Mandela.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of the words in the music are really correlated the same way.
Yeah, because I remember messing up a bunch of lyrics in Beatles songs, and when I found out what they were really said was different from what I thought. But yeah, that's different. Yeah, I've experienced that.
Well, not necessarily different.
Right.
So it could be. We could have thought the words were one thing and we were wrong, or potentially, based on this theory, or maybe it's more than a theory, but whatever. Maybe they somehow transformed.
So
I mean,
timeline shift.
Yeah, timeline shift, exactly. So then 1980s, and the reason that the person that named the effect after
Nelson
Mandela himself, Nelson Mandela,
passed away 2013.
Says he passed away in 2013. There's an awful lot of people that kind of, sort of, for whatever reason, remember something about the 1980s.
Well,
he died in jail.
Five things on the list under Mandela effect: Jif versus Jiffy, Oscar Mayer versus Oscar Mayer, or Oscar Mayer, spelling on Oscar Mayer, Sex in the City when it used to be Sex and the City, Queen's song "We Are the Champions." Some people remember the song ending with "of the world," but the original recording simply ends with "No time for losers" because we are the champions. The Monopoly Man's monocle. Some people remember the man wearing a monocle, but he doesn't now. And these are just a few examples.
Right, those are just a few, because then when you actually think about it, because there was so many more, because there's Looney Tunes and Curious George's Tale, the Febreze stuff, Skechers logos, Fruit Loops, King Henry VIII, the Monopoly logos, Pikachu's tail, the Kit Kat logo. There's so many damn things that they changed, or they didn't.
Yeah.
That could be edited stuff. That doesn't even seem like the Mandela effect, in a way.
Exactly.
That's more like editing.
So,
what do you mean? Wait. Hold on for a second. What do you mean editing?
No, they just said
timeline editing.
They took out "We Are Champions of the World." I remember that.
Like they edited. It was like a new version of the song.
And said, yes, just edit it. I don't think that.
So
we're talking about the same thing. I actually had to. You can't see that. I had to, Google Mandela effect, because I'm not familiar with it. So.
Yeah, it's the effect or phenomenon. A group of people recall something that doesn't match historical records. It's called the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
But
now people remembering different things is a psychological thing too. Some people remember their parents being mean as hell to them, and when the parents are saying, "Wow, I don't remember being that mean," right? That's a psychological thing. So it's not the same thing again.
Yeah, that's different.
Dragonfly, what do you think about Ed McMahon? Do you remember Ed McMahon?
I do.
Do you remember? Did he actually? What all did he do? Do you remember all the things he did?
Yeah, for sure.
He didn't watch wrestling.
No,
Huh?
no, Ed McMahon, not Vince McMahon.
Oh,
Ed McMahon, see?
who's Ed McMahon?
Ed, the American Family Publishers guy. He was on
Yeah.
TV with
Yeah.
Johnny Carson, right? He would have been Johnny Carson's right hand,
You're right.
right? That guy.
I liked him.
Do you remember the Publishers Clearinghouse stuff?
Yes, I do.
Was he part of that?
Yes.
Wrong. He was not.
Really? No, I saw it on TV.
They say
Mandela
wrong. He
effect.
was not part of the Publishers Clearinghouse thing, and he never handed out big checks.
Right at the end of Super Bowl every year when we were all kids and shit, the historical record says that doesn't exist. But I also know that our government has got very much technology tied in, quantum timeline manipulation technology, which would basically be brought under time machine to manipulate shit.
I feel like,
So, like, that's-
Do you feel the Nelson Mandela coming into effect?
if what you're saying is true and that's the case, yes, and then that would kind of be evident that somebody is tampering with the timeline. So that's all. I don't know. I don't know anything.
There's a lot of things that a lot of us remember being certain ways that all of a sudden, in like 2009, just so happened to cease to exist.
Back to the Future.
all right, I'm gonna get ready for the next clip, but before Avuncular,
Yes.
anything on that one?
Not really. No.
Okay, let's.
So I'm actually gonna hit the road in a minute here, so I'm gonna bid y'all adieu.
Thank you for joining in. Appreciate having you. Love you.
No problem. Love you too.
Safe travels.
Safe travels.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Give Georgie
I
a
will,
kiss for us.
I sure will. I'll tune in
Cool.
on one of the channels. All right. See you guys later.
All right. Talk to you later.
Adios.
Later, Pop.
All right. Let me play the next one because I think we're all. It's kind of building up a little bit.
I'm gonna let you play it, and I'm gonna say like probably like one or two words, and then I gotta pop out of here.
Okay. This one's probably real short.
G.B. Shaw had proximity to the thinker, right? He wasn't just making up this pose. He actually saw, the physical statue. But so I wondered if other religious scripture, like in the Quran, has been changed. And so I looked around, and there was a Sufi saint or Sufi imam. Don't think he's a saint yet, but an imam who basically said, in Islam, they memorized the Quran word for word, and they have for thousands since 1600 years ago, whenever the religion started. And I grew up in a Muslim house, and I was like, why do they do that? We got books. We don't need to memorize the physical, every single word, right? And he goes, the reason is there are entities that can alter time. They can change the past, and therefore they can change physical objects, but they're not allowed to change our memories, right? And so, they can change, and these entities are called the jinn, right? And so this is where it gets quite interesting, because now we tie the religion to the Philip K. Dick to the Mandela effect, right? Because Philip K. Dick said there were entities that could change variables in the past. And the more you look into quantum mechanics, the more you realize this idea that the past and the has already happened, and now it's the present and the future. It's pretty easy for us to say the future hasn't happened yet, therefore there's 3 possible futures. I make a choice, I go this way. I make a choice, I go that way. We can understand that, right? But what we can't understand is that there are multiple possible pasts as well, and that we are actually choosing one of those. So the collapse of the probability wave, which is called the observer effect, and I go into more detail in this in my simulation books, the simulation hypothesis and the simulated multiverse.
I should write books.
But the idea of the collapse is, with Schrodinger's cat, the cat is alive or dead. Common sense says it's either alive or dead. We don't know. We haven't looked, but quantum mechanics says it's both alive and dead, right, at this moment in time, until the observer observes one of those and measures one of those outcomes. So it's in a state of what's called quantum superposition.
Okay, take it away, Cool Frog. Since
No,
you got
really, what I'm gonna take it away with is, so it's like the other day, because he kind of went into some quantum stuff or whatever. The other day, I had watched the Terrence on Joe Rogan, and as they went ahead and they went through all the stuff that they were going through, and he's talking about his 92 patents and of wonderful, very interesting topic for what it be. And then you get Russell saying, "Oh, I should write books." Yes, Russell, you should write books. You should write books
I made a
because when it
song
comes
about
down to it, there's so many people that aren't like you and Terrence Howard that really don't think that way, don't have that type of mindset to really seriously take all that in, conjure it up, and then spit something out for you. Now, I just listened to this clip for 2 minutes. I'm going to need each one of you to probably say one thing about it before I even come up with anything of any sort about that clip specifically. Why? Because my brain doesn't work like everybody else's does. I know how mine works. And if I can give you a straight up, here's an answer. But if I actually let you all talk for a few seconds and actually kind of maybe explain it to me a little bit more, I can have a little bit more of a cohesive thought to throw an idea at you. So, as you say, I should write books. Yes, you should. You
Well, I was
should
just
write
thinking
books.
too,
You should write down all
Right.
of those thoughts that you have.
just right before you. But here's the thing with me is like books and writing was so challenging for me just because it didn't serve in the time structure.
Right.
What I should do is do an audiobook. Like really, we're in a day and age.
Yeah.
I should do.
No,
an
yeah.
audiobook.
I mean, you
But-
record every day. You record something every day. So I mean, you
Well-
know how to do that. You know how to do that. So from the StreamYard side of things, you don't have to hit the live button. There's a record button. Just record
Right,
yourself for
so-
10, 12 hours or whatever, and then go listen back to it. And
So
you know what?
basically, my Rumble is an archive of my very thoughts on these topics and my mind,
Yeah,
along with
exactly.
all the other shit that I do, which is cool.
And that's
anyways,
what
I was
that's
just
why I
thinking
laugh when one person
synchronicity
tells me
here.
that my thing isn't a podcast, and I'm like, it really is, because everything that I've done in the past
Right.
couple of years really isn't for anybody else but me.
Right, but anybody can click on it at any point in time.
But anybody can click on it,
Right.
anybody can join in, anybody can have some fun with it, and you see how many different people make themselves available for Friday night. I mean,
Yeah.
who would have thought? Who would have ever thought? Oh, that's pretty much my, my breadwinner for the show or whatever is my Friday night. My Friday night live is where it's at. Do I have somebody new coming around this weekend? Maybe.
Yeah, and I'll be coming in a little bit later because I'm going to be doing my first Rock and Rabbit Hole show with Clay.
Right. Right.
So we'll be coming in a little bit later.
It's gonna
but
be
still be coming
It's gonna
in.
be fun. It's gonna be fun. I remember
Oh,
Clay
yeah.
doing these rock and rabbit holes. Rock and rabbit holes are fun to watch.
Yeah, it looks
Okay.
good, so I'm excited.
But I do really seriously got to pop out. I know she's gonna be here within the next 5, and we got to get her on. So I thank you
Right
all
on.
so very, very much for letting me join you.
Thank you for joining us bright and early in the morning.
Yeah.
Right on.
We will
Right,
catch you.
yeah.
We'll catch you next
Have
time.
a killer day.
Later,
Enjoy the fam.
later, motherfuckers.
Later.
Good
day.
What?
Right on.
All right.
Yeah,
So
it's mind-boggling. Like I just was talking about that, and then he said it in the video. I'm still like perplexed that like he almost just said what I was talking about.
which was, remind us.
Quantum.
Got a little off
Quantum
topic there.
mechanics. Quantum mechanics. A few religious texts of old. They can shift the material things in our timeline, but they cannot shift our memories. That was like, oh man, I was about to say that, but then he said it, and then I was talking about like quantum mechanics, quantum entanglement, quantum computing, the way that it all works, and then there he was just saying those very same things.
Yeah, I agree. Well, not agree with anybody, but I like the way Grandfather Dragonfly also put it, where there is various potential explanations. So there could be, this guy says there's these entities called the jinn, right? that can change things in our timeline, right? But he's saying they can't change our memories, which is interesting. Russell, you earlier said that, you know, they have the government type entities messing with the timeline as well. You know, Grandfather Dragonfly brought it to the mind, you know, our own mind and power of perception. And
Well, that would also be more or less government treaties with said entities to be, you know what I mean? Like, yes and no both ways, probably a few different included.
Well, I could easily imagine that there could be a psyops, you know, where someone goes, "That's what happens if we make it seem like Fruit Loops have been square this whole time, rather than loopy."
So,
I mean,
to me,
that's not off the table.
Allegory. Yeah,
right.
So when you realize we're cave allegory, boy, you can make the Fruit Loops any shape you want when you get out the cave.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna keep running since it's getting close to my time as well, and I don't want to keep you guys hostage for too long. But we got 4 more clips, so bear with me. We'll get through it and have a little fun.
Cool.
Experiment, and I don't know if
I have not heard of that.
So we all know about the double slit experiment, which is the basis for the observer effect, and Schrodinger's cat is a good way to explain that. But the cosmic delayed choice experiment was proposed by John Wheeler, who was one of the giants of 20th century physics. By the way, he worked with Einstein at Princeton. He worked with Niels Bohr, all these guys. He was the supervisor of Hugh Everett, who came up with the multiverse idea, right? So, I mean, this guy had his hands in everything, right? And so he also came up at the end of his life, just to diverge from the cosmic choice, he came up with a phrase that is used in simulation theory. His phrase was, I looked for the essence of matter and I couldn't find it. And he came up with this phrase saying, it from bit. He says the only thing he could find at the end of the day, when you keep looking down for this thing called matter, right? The table is mostly empty space. Underneath that, the atom is mostly empty space. The subatomic particles, he goes, the only thing I could find was a series of yes-no questions to say what a particle is. So he said the only thing that defines one particle versus another particle is different answers to these yes-no questions. And those are like bits of information. So the universe basically consists of bits of information. It doesn't consist of actual physical particles. Like there's no such thing as a particle. It's just a configuration of bits of information. So his phrase was it from bit. So if there's something that looks like an it, like this glass, all it is a collection of bits of yes-no questions and how they're arranged.
You mean like ones and zeros?
Yeah, like ones and zeros. When I talk about a bit, it's just ones and zeros. That is this fundamental unit of information science, which...
Ready, set, go. Everybody at once.
You remember when I was talking that one time about when your energy and your frequency is vibrating at a high enough frequency that you can almost see everything around you, trees, rocks, dirt, sand, cars, people, it doesn't matter what it is, emulates its own aura of energy flowing like zeros and ones, but more not green over a black backdrop, vibrant with color and flowing like water. Yeah,
tell me more.
It's kind of neat. Zeros and ones, the floating ether that makes the matrix of the assimilated simulation we live inside of, that we're highly active. I mean, think of us as smarter than the computer, but we are the computer and we live in a simulation. We are the AI. We write what we are experiencing in our program.
We are the editors. We are the jinn.
Absolutely.
In that case. You got anything on that one? Fijwata?
Except we're suppressed. We're suppressed down from that.
Shall we move on to the next? All right.
enjoy the delusion. At the same time, there's those of us who are like want to know what's really happening, right? We want to take the red pill versus the blue pill, and we're interested, in that. In the Matrix, there's a scene that's become probably one of my favorite scenes. I play it for my students now, which is Cypher. Okay,
you read my mind. I was about to say Cypher. That's it. That Cypher scene with the steak. Go ahead.
That's exactly the scene. So, he's sitting with Agent Smith, and the first time I saw the Matrix, okay, he's the bad guy. He's betraying the Morpheus and the team.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. It's the 25th anniversary today. So if you haven't seen it by now. But, he's eating the steak and he goes, I know this steak isn't real, but it feels real. And he goes, and the reason he's working with Agent Smith is he's like, I want to go back in and I don't want to know. I don't want to know nothing, right? That was an actual line. Like he just wants to enjoy the steak and enjoy the illusion. And there is an element to that. I mean, why do we play video games? Okay. People ask me this, what's the purpose of the simulation? I say, well, why do we play video games? Usually for a couple of reasons, but one of the main reasons is we play video games to have experiences that we wouldn't have outside of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've wondered about that. People are really.
You cut. Sorry, you cut out a little bit. Can you repeat that?
People are really into video games, but I realized one thing: they can be bridges and do things. They can fight zombies. They can shoot aliens. They can do all this stuff. And you know why? Because you don't die, really. That's
what's
the one
pink
thing.
Elephant in the room? What's the pink elephant in the room over all of it? I mean, I'd still pick up a game and play it. I haven't in a long time.
Yeah. No, I'm not cutting those people down.
No, not in any sense. And I surf Rumble channels and I watch gamers. I like watching the content. But for me, myself personally, it was like, if I'm spending hours on end every single day playing games, that's staying in a stagnated cycle of non-growing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Because the entire industry of entertainment in every single aspect of it. I mean, if we lived in a simulation that's built for our spirit to take control of the cosmic skin suit while we operate around in this damn simulation, wouldn't it be the objective of the evil forces to convince us that we are not spiritual beings, so we could be of the mundane, stagnant, and not step into our divine being? So it's like everything that we do. And the saddest part is, even me being an artist, all the things that I love, like load down cars, cool paint jobs, all of it, all of the shit that we all love so much, and it's the saddest part, and I still love it, and I'm still going to, because I'm going to eat that fucking steak, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to eat that fucking steak, right? Even knowing what I know. And it's hard to shatter the illusions, but everything is to take us away from source. They have literally convinced us, okay, but the cool thing is, we're allowed to be creative and all of that, but most of what exists for us to be attracted to in whatever sense is to keep us from growth in our own divine purpose, spirituality, divine, in our divine. Just that's what it feels like.
Definitely a war going on. There's a spiritual battle going on. Definitely.
Well, I think as you were talking, based on kind of what you both chimed in with, had this idea come to mind in the form of a question: was, what if our spiritual work was to reprogram the Matrix? What if we were all Neos here to reprogram and what you call these entities or whatever, this force that is blocking us from our understanding of what we are and what we are to do, are just the Agent Smiths.
11.6 million people is all it would take for us to wake up the rest of the planet.
Yeah.
That's the percentage. It was like a less, whatever I can't remember the percentage. We broke it down like 6 ways on the show. They were all the same. Statistically, you only need X amount of percent, which equivalated to 11.6 million people of 8 billion people on the planet. And then the rest of the truth and the knowledge, the joy, the love, the light, the planting the seeds would literally explosively take off like wildfire amongst the rest of the population. And those that choose into it and to be of it and flow like water will do well. And those that are left behind, well, they are not ready for the future. They will stay in a stagnant place.
Yeah, it seems like that's happening. That is sort of happening little by little right now.
Yeah, like we said on a previous show, somebody said it, one small candle flame
can lead
will
to
light up the whole
illuminate
room.
the path through. Oh yeah, and not just light up a room. A single candle flame. If I was to walk into the darkness with a single flame of candle, I could walk out of that darkness with a train of people with enough light as the light giver to bear a path for many people to come out with me that would dare open their eyes and get out of the fucking cave allegory.
I'm going to play the next one, and it might be the same one, because I might have lost count, but let's see.
To enjoy the delusion. At the same time, there's those of us who are like, want to know what's really happening, right? We want to take the red pill versus the blue pill. And we're interested, in that. In the Matrix, there's a scene that's become probably one of my favorite scenes. I play it for my students now. Cypher. Okay.
You read my
Is this
mind.
the
I was
same
about
one?
to say Cypher. That's it. That Cypher scene with the steak. Go ahead.
That's exactly the scene.
Wait, that was the same one, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me try again. I knew I was losing it. Might have never had it.
Did you ever see the Chronicles of Riddick? That was
Here we
just
go.
popping in my mind.
I haven't seen that.
It's a good movie. So Helion in the dark, he kind of has a gift where he can see through the light, but he has a hero's journey solo ride. He wasn't liked. His whole planet was blown up, so he just kind of an interesting thing. But people ended up relying on somebody that was the hero's journey abnormal person that was usually the outcast to basically walk them along like the guy with the match to lead them out of the darkness. It's just kind of very interesting why that popped into my head, that correlation.
That's the inspiration. Okay, we got final two.
Within our simulation, perhaps the experiences we're having here, including the pain, including the financial difficulties or the health difficulties, taking care of each other when something goes wrong, maybe in heaven, like you said earlier, right? These things, they're not problems. And so you don't get to experience that level of emotion. And I think that's another lesson of the Matrix is getting back to the verse from the Quran. It's an enjoyable delusion, even when we're not enjoying ourselves. Let's put it that way, right?
Bingo.
Okay,
I gotta say something. I gotta
Yes.
say something about the word problems.
Wait.
Go
Say that
ahead.
again. You cut out.
I have issue with the word he said. In heaven we have no problems. How come? Well, what heaven he's talking about? Maybe other religious ideas have different views. I was brought up Catholic and then Christian type stuff, which I'm not into. But I did read in the Torah and in the Gospels that when there's war in heaven, there's a war in heaven, and I'm thinking honestly, well, I don't want to go there if there's going to be freaking war there too. That's I don't want all this stuff have to deal with this crap up there. So I don't mean by that. Maybe he's talking from a Torah or a Christian view.
I can understand at the level that he's talking about. So phantom itches are a real thing for people that have had amputees, and they have a missing body limb,
right.
where you can still feel an itch or still feel a pain. also correlates to the 21-gram experiment. Now, just because you're missing 3 or 4 limbs, if you will, when your spirit takes flight, it's whole, healed, your entire body in its entirety. It doesn't have things like ailment or problems or issues or health, or because it doesn't exist in this plane. And what he said is basically we enter into our life's journey down here to pain and transmutate our way to learn through life, to unveil that veil of forgetting that is cast on us when we were born.
Well, we're kind of saying that between birth and death, that this experience only is within that. I'm beginning to think it's just a cycle. You go to the next world, and you go. You know, it may not be. You know,
you're not. You could be
bowl of
right.
cherries. We may be advancing to more other things too. You know,
Let's
could be a
let's
continual
say
journey.
let's say reincarnation is real, but if you achieve a level of where you ascend in enough knowledge, when you reincarnate, you don't reincarnate back to this simulation. Maybe you assimilate to a higher simulation in a different place, but maybe in between that dynamic, what we would call or written is heaven. Maybe that's a transitional state where we are in that etherical, floating, spiritual, cosmic self, where there is no ailments, there's no problems, there's no pain. Pain is what we come here to experience, the happiness, the joy, the feelings, because when you are pure energy, which is, I believe, what the soul is, mixed with consciousness, which is the beautiful gift that makes us, we entered into a soul contract to come here and experience every bit of pain, every bit of suffering, love, joy, anything that was an emotional experience tied to the learning of our journey is but merely tied to this realm, and this realm specifically. Because beyond this,
I guess I'm not.
that does not exist.
I mean, I heard that stuff.
Yeah.
Really knowing what is really after this. When you look at the world, let's say, you know, okay, so how I look at the world is when people say, well, how come you don't believe in God or whatever, and they'll say, well, look around you. People being birthed, isn't that a miracle, this or that? And I say, yeah, well, also in this world, the wolf rips apart the rabbit, the lion rips apart the lamb, and everything in the world shows us that this is the real world. It's not a paradise, you know? And
It's still
if God
it's still
created
in a
this,
harmonious symbiotic flow.
huh?
It's still in a symbiotic harmonious flow, like the yin and the yang.
Sure, I would say that it is. I would agree more with that. But that's what I'm saying. In the next world, we're kind of guessing. But if you imagine the next world through my experience here, I would have to say we're this is just the first transition of things, or maybe it was the eighth. I wouldn't know. I don't know for sure.
I love that.
I
love
but
that.
the next time, maybe we just there's so much to learn. I'm saying. I mean, I don't.
Well, it's to the way you just said that, I was thinking in my mind, I'm like, well, we exist on this plane to learn this plane's skill set of how we're introduced into this dynamic of this simulation. Now, let's say when we transcend our energy, let's say we go into a new simulation, and it has its own set of dynamics that are completely not of here, but all of the written teachings, the scriptures, everything, the Torah, all the Quran, everything that you want to write was all written of information specifically for this matrix, but also tells us information that what has created us inside of this matrix exists way beyond the dynamic of this matrix. So it's extraterrestrial in its nature, interdimensional in its nature. So let's say dimensionally, the cosmos is infinite. What if we just went from this experience in our transitional state? I guess the heaven would be a new state of learning lessons, maybe a different.
Yeah, I would think so. I can refer to C.S. Lewis wrote a book called The Great Divorce, And in it, he says these people die. Well, he says that the bus came and takes them away to heaven, and they start walking on grass. Now they're spirit. They're in spirit form. They died, man. They're in spirit form, and then they go to walk on the grass. Grass is just hard as a rock. When they can't step on it. It's too hard. Their spirit actually have to adjust to this new world. That's what I'm kind of getting at. That seems to be true for me. We got to adapt to the afterlife somehow. I don't think it's going to be that on the afterlife.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah, you're going to walk across solid cement-looking water, because you're not adapted to it.
The way that I just thought that in my mind instantaneously, the way that you described that is the word picture in my mind. If you've ever watched Dragon Ball Z, when he's traveling in his little capsule and he's training and he hits the gravity button to adjust the heaviness of the gravity, and he goes too far and he hits 100 times the amount of gravity, and all of a sudden he's like, well, in this new world, this is what it'll be, so I must experience this and train. So by the time he gets to this world, he's ready. I was like, damn, that just went interesting.
All right, I'm gonna play.
Cool.
Yeah, that was cool. I'm gonna play. I think this is the last one. Let's see.
Anytime they brought up Jurassic Park, he almost had a heart attack every single time. It could really happen, No, what? It's like, but that's the spin of disbelief, and that's going along with this accepting of the illusion, which then brings me to my next question to you: is the
I'm gonna start this one from the beginning, but the last one, the strangest combination of words and thoughts I felt was, he says the enjoyable delusion, even when we are not enjoying it. To me, that resonated so deeply, where, we're talking about ignorance being bliss sometimes. And I don't personally believe that that's the case. And I think this sets it up quite nicely, that what was said on that last clip was the enjoyable delusion, even when we are not enjoying it. It's almost like the comfort chair thing once again, or something similar to that. But yeah, I'll play this one.
anytime they brought up Jurassic Park, he almost had a heart attack every single time. It could really happen, No, what? It's like, but that's the spin of disbelief, and that's going along with this accepting of the illusion, which then brings me to my next question to you: is the world that we are choosing to believe exists in our own perception is based on the programming that we have been programmed with since the moment of our birth. Our experiences and our programming from people around us, our family, our friends, our religion, all of that is skewing how we see the game completely. So as we move forward in this life, I believe, and I think so many other metaphysical teachers have said, you can choose to change the parameters of your life. If you've always been poor, you don't always have to be poor. That is a mindset that you can shift and open yourself up to other ideas and so on and so forth. So in the simulation theory, I mean, we can go back to the Matrix with this. Neo had to believe he was the one. Without the belief of him going no, and he stopped the bullets. Without him doing that, because he was shot, he was dying, he died, and it was Trinity, again, if you haven't seen it, I'm sorry. And Trinity,
spoiler alert, yeah,
spoiler. And Trinity is saying, I believe you, I believe in you, I love you. And that was the moment where
I love this part.
That was the moment that he stopped, that he started to manipulate the code in a much larger way than he had before. Before he was kind of just playing with it. Now he can manipulate it. He came back to life as Jesus. He came back as the savior, and then said, no, and stopped the bullets midair because he believed his belief of what his reality was more powerful than what he had been told all his life. Would you?
Yeah, I know you got excited about that one,
Nailed
so go ahead and
it.
kick it off.
Oh, oh yeah. Ooh, that's good. Hey, people are so powerful that if you tell yourself you're not, you're not. And then the whole, you gotta believe it. You have to believe you're so powerful. Like me, my music, my art is like, I might not be financially successful, but I'm the most based motherfucker on the planet in my mind. I'm extra. I'm triple extra. You know what I mean? Like, I,
I was
because
watching,
in my mind, I am.
Yeah, I've been watching Rick Rubin, the producer of, he produces records like what do they call the Hot Chili Peppers or whatever, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and all these. I don't know who's who anymore, but he was saying one thing he does. He says he serves the music. He says the audience is second. He said first we make the best we can. We make everybody's invested with their talents, with their spirit in the song and believe in the song, and it'll be up to to what they will with it. But I like that the fact that he said that it was first. That was first, and that's what you're saying.
Oh yeah. Well, so
you might not be financially successful because of it, or getting all the money.
But that
from
doesn't
it.
matter. That
No.
doesn't matter right now. Not even at all. Not even a little. Those are mechanics, and you don't focus on the mechanics. Yeah. You never focus on the mechanics, because when you're riding the wave on quantum fields, being in the now, creating the future of tomorrow in love and light, in the presence of now, consciously, the mechanics take care of themselves. Maybe not in a split second, but over time.
Yeah. And you got to cast your fate to the wind sometimes.
Yeah. Well, like last night, or this morning, or I guess it was this morning, I was on my podcast. I was making music. I'm not making music for me. I'm not even making it for the audience. I'm making it to heal and inspire the freaking world. Outside of self, outside of, from source. And I'm thinking, how can I, not to make myself famous, but to inspire and plant the seeds of love and light to others, make a song that does that? Not to make me famous, but to inspire and touch the hearts of billions of people. And that's first. That's the music first. Me second, audience third. Because music has the uncanny ability,
I see the value
just like
in it.
art, it can bring masses of people together in a point where they all have. You ever seen shit tons of people that don't get along all of a sudden drop all their ego and their life's problems at the door and get along over music and art?
Yeah. Yes.
That shit's beautiful. That'll change the world.
Yeah.
Music and art.
You know what? What's cool is nobody probably knows this, but in 1970, it was 1970 guitar player from how he did music to learning about how to do music to heal people. And at the time, I was 15 or 16, and I thought, what a nut. This guy's a nut.
No, not a nut.
No, but no, he's not a nut. And I was really
Are you talking about Rife?
I don't know what that is. Rife?
Dr.
What's
Rife. Dr. Rife uses sound healing technology to cure cancers and ailments in the body using sound healing frequencies to activate biocellular DNA resonance within the cells to vibrate with a harmonious resonance to the frequency that is emitted, much like a transmitter receiver, to aid in the healing process.
I watched a video on that. Is that the person that he had 16 terminal bombarded them with the vibrations, and they all got healed? But it's not. They don't talk about it very much. Yeah. Okay. So I have heard of that guy. I watched that video.
Yeah, that's because the government doesn't want you to know that shit, so they'll paint him in a bad light and take all this stuff and go bye-bye. Just like a lot of the other brilliant minds.
They want us sick because it makes them big money.
Oh yeah, and it keeps us away from source, from
Yeah.
higher self.
Even
That's
even
their
getting
biggest,
back,
biggest purpose. Keep us away from
getting
higher
back
self.
to that pharmakai in Revelations and a couple other some of the epistles in the Bible. But of course they're lying again. Pharmakai.
Oh man.
Drugs. Some people say no, they're not talking about drugs that the doctors prescribe to.
Homeopathic, holistic medicines.
Yeah, those things take
Yeah,
we probably can heal ourselves. I mean, I've heard a bunch of stuff on this.
Oh yeah.
We probably
Absolutely.
make ourselves sick. That's what we have to learn about ourselves, is not to do these things, and I live a righteous life, and I don't mean that a righteous life, and
So I'm good. I have to close up, gentlemen. I really would love to continue because we're getting down rabbit holes that I find it hard to resist. But I would like to take us out with a song. It's an AI song, but it was written by the Blunt Scotsman called Lockdown. I just feel like playing this on our way out. And thanks everybody for watching. It's really you're appreciated very, very much. Whether you came in and caught a few words and left, or you're hanging out and working or driving or whatever you're doing, thank you very much. Appreciate you. Appreciate your efforts here on planet Earth to do the best that you can at this given moment in time. And just the last takeaway is we have the ability to program this timeline and even change it and interweave other timelines, and we can actually focus on our own editing as we wish, and our own creation with whatever power we have to do so. So beautiful things, beautiful conversation. Love you guys very much. Thank you, Avuncular, for hanging out. Really appreciated you coming in here and talking. And sorry that you're not feeling great today. And we'll make sure that changes. We'll send some editing wave patterns of healthy embodiment to you. And so all you have to do is open up and accept those. And thanks, Cool Frog, for stopping in. Have fun with chilling. Have fun with the school program. And thank you very, very much, JMAF, for coming in and being here early and on time. And Sue, you know what? I do appreciate punctuality. Thank you, Father, for laughing at the song that I made for you. That made my day.
I didn't know who you were talking about. Who's that guy?
You're looking around going, "This what the hell? What is this?" Yeah, and we could kind of I'll play this song and kind of just fade it out, but it's about 2 minutes. If you'll just kind of vibe with me for a few more minutes, and we'll go on our merry ways and enjoy the planet. Love you guys and gals.
Look
Live
at
long
the
and prosper.
sun, what are you seeing? We people have become what we are breathing. To awaken now, you're gonna be feeling that the time has come for what you're receiving. They got us in a lockdown, they got us in a lockdown. Yet don't you be feeling down. If you can hear this sound, and that sound is love. Grounded with the stars above, with hope and strength steeped in everlasting love. The dream we all are now stealing was ours at inception, when creation was dealing. They got us in a lockdown, they got us in a lockdown, yet don't you be feeling down. If you can hear the sound, and that sound is love. They got us in a lockdown, they got us in a lockdown, yet don't you be feeling down. If you can hear the sound, and that sound is love.